If you clicked on this video, you're probably a Yakuza fan. And with being a Yakuza fan comes a lot of things we love about the series. Whether it's boss fights, movesets, districts or story, we all have something we love about each game. That's why, in this video, I'm going to be going over my personal favourite thing from each one of the games. So grab a beef ball and some takoyaki and let's get into it. Oh, by the way, I'm not including original Yakuza 1 and 2 in this, since it'd be kinda redundant and most people watching this have only played the Kiwamis. Yakuza Kiwami. This was my first Yakuza game and honestly one of my favourites. The best thing about this game has got to be the final boss, Akira Nishikiyama. To this day, after playing the entire series, there hasn't been a final boss that has reached this level for me. Not only does the fight represent such a cool dynamic, two brothers torn apart by fate, but also the way you go from room to room in this fight feels so fun and dynamic. Nishiki also has such an imposing presence in this fight, with his storm cloud heat aura and how his moves have these big blue waves coming off them. He really does feel like an equal to Kiryu. The styles help make this fight even more fun, but sometimes it is just fun to cheese it with the Tiger Drop and the Dragon style extreme heat move. Yakuza Kiwami 2. Kiwami 2 is a tough one, because there's so much I dislike about this game. But I think one thing I love about it is that you see how the Tojo clan was affected after the events of 2005. The absence of the Shimano family is such a huge blow, as well as the Majima family having left for Majima Construction. Also, it makes a lot of sense for the Nishikiyama family to be led by Koji Shindo. You know, the guy that appears like 3 times in the previous game. Them being worth half of the Tojo's men really goes to show how big of a family Nishiki's was, and how it was the only one not to be affected by the events of the previous game. Also, Patriarch Kashiwagi. Nice. Yakuza 3. Despite what a lot of people think about this game, mainly Reddit, this is one of my favourite Yakuza games. That's mainly down to how much more human Kiryu feels. In the previous 2 games, Kiryu's kind of just, me angry, me punch things, you me. But in this one he's a person. Half the game is spent teaching each kid at the orphanage a lesson, and you really get to see Kiryu's life values outside of the Yakuza, as well as how lame of a dad he can be. Originally this game was going to be the final Kiryu game, and man, you can feel it. The way Kiryu brings Haruka to Kamurocho near the finale, because he wants to spend one final time with her there, as he believes he's going to die, made me want to cry when I first saw it.
Nanda.
おじさん、今から大悟さん助けに行くんでしょ。どうして私に一緒に来てほしいって言ったの？いつもなら私が行くって言っても止めるのに。おじさん死ぬつもりなんでしょ。もう死んじゃうから、最後になっちゃうから私のこと連れてきたんでしょ。
ごめんな、はるか。
え？
もう一度お前とこの街を見ておきたかったんだ。
おじさん。
すまん。俺がわがままだった。やはりお前は沖縄に。
大丈夫。私すごく嬉しい。
はるか。
本当だよ。嬉しいよ、おじさん。
Also, his reaction to Rikia's death is the most heartbreaking one in the series. The way he just screams and begs Rikia to wake back up makes me sad every time I see it.
Rikia. おい！リキア！おい！お前何勝手に死んでんだよ、おい！俺許さねえぞ！おい！リキア！返事をしろ、リキア！
Yakuza 4. I don't think this one is a controversial one. The three new protagonists, Akiyama, Sanjima, and Tanimura, are great in this game. After multiple games of just playing as Kiryu, it feels so refreshing to play as new characters. Akiyama has a swift and quick fighting style that completely makes use of kicks. Sanjima has a big tank of a style with charge-up attacks, and Tanimura's parries are broken if you know how and when to use them. I really like the fact that Akiyama is just a regular guy. He only gets involved in this stuff through pure happenstance. Also, giving Majima a Swan Brother character with Sanjima was such a great move for his character, especially with the events of 1985. And then with Tanimura, man, I was rooting for him so hard in the end.
ってもらいましょうか。
やれ！こいつは早く殺せ！
副総監、いや、宗像静止ろ！お前の野望はここで終わりだ。覚悟しろ！
He's my favourite character of the three, and then he just never returns. What a shame. Yakuza 5. Oh, Yakuza 5. What a massive game. And I think that's what I love the most about it. Just how ambitious it is. You have 5 major cities to explore, 4 big pieces of content, Shinada, plenty of training, tons of leveling and abilities to unlock, so many mini-games that you'll never get bored, Shinada, tons of weapons, and the longest story in an RGG game that spans multiple locations and groups. I feel like Yakuza 5 is the ultimate Yakuza game. Is the story the best? Absolutely not, but the fact it manages to fit all this content into a PS3 game no less. It's absolutely astonishing. I know this technically isn't just one singular thing from Yakuza 5, but with how huge the game is I just can't think of only one thing. Yakuza 0. Here we are, we're finally at the fan favourite. It might be obvious what I'll say here, I'll give you a few seconds to guess. Yep, it's playable Majima. Letting Majima have half of the spotlight in a Yakuza prequel was a bold move, but it worked out really well, and even ended up being the better story of the two characters. Seeing Majima at the start of Zero, with knowing how crazy he is in the rest of the series, feels like you just got hit by a 14-wheeler. He's so calm. This isn't the Majima I know. But then as you get further into the story, you see him slowly turn into the guy we know and love. Especially so after Makoto gets shot. He truly becomes the mad dog of Shimano after that point.
なんだてめえは誠から伝言預かってきたおせっかいな殺し屋じゃこの野郎ちまちま増えてきよってそんなんで俺は止まらへんぞ
こいつやべえぞ。いかれちまってる。
いい加減にしとけよこのガキお前ら下っ端の首は数に入らんねさっさとどかんかいボケが
Of course, I can't talk about Yakuza 0 Majima without mentioning his crazy styles. Thug style is a nice, well-rounded style that's good for chipping down health. Slugger style is great for using weapons and to get some cheap heat moves in. And Breaker style is just... well... yeah, it's broken. Oh, and I can't forget 24-hour Cinderella.
素直に I love you 届けようきっと恨み伝わるさ君に似合うガラスの靴を探そう二人でステップアンドゴーいつまでも深夜12時を過ぎたって君は僕の愛しい24時間シンデレラ
Yakuza 6. Honestly, it was pretty hard deciding what I liked the most from this game, but eventually I figured it out. To me, this feels way more like a final boss fight than the actual final boss. You have an awesome but melancholic song with Destiny, and of course it's in the Millennium Tower. After Yakuza 0, we learn that the colour of the suits characters wear do indeed have significance, such as Kiryu wearing black when he's knee deep in the Yakuza, white when he's a civilian working towards justice, and then grey when he rejoins the Yakuza, but now with a better view of the world and a new sense of morality. And then what do we see here? Kiryu wearing a black suit and Somaya wearing a white suit. I might be looking way too much into this, but also it makes so much sense. Kiryu isn't fighting for a good cause, he's been pushed over the edge and is fully intent on murdering Sugai. On the other hand, Somaya is fighting for someone he loves. We don't know it during the fight, but he's putting his life on the line for someone else, someone he cares about, despite not having any ink on his back and insulting the old ways of the Yakuza. He was more honourable and old school than any other antagonist in the series. Somaya died trying to save someone, and I think that signifies just how great of a character he is. Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's Ichiban. The best thing about this game is Ichiban. That's it. That's all I have to say.